Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Entrepreneur Hour. My name is Miguel Sanchez, your host, and in my ever-growing quest of creating multiple revenue streams, hope you come along for the ride and learn with me. And one day, hopefully, me and you can be both. We can both be financially free. Today, what I'm going to talk about is the revenue stream that keeps coming up every day, the content creation game. And it's not just about revenue stream for you as an individual. Any business right now has to be creating video and audio content to get in front of customers. Because if you think about where we're headed, right, we're already kind of down this path of less people going out, more people being home and being online. So if you're selling something, how do you expect to get in front of people right now? The number one way is through video content and audio content. And this week I've been just thinking about it, and people have been reaching out to me because of the content I've been creating here, and at a rate that has been so, it's growing so fast that I'm like, I really want to make sure people are understanding why they have to do this and how to do it. And if anybody watching is interested and has questions, always either in the podcast or on the video, I'm definitely trying to figure out how to help as many people understand this and do it. So two things I saw this week that I'm going to show you on the screen real quick. Two articles. First article says let's do video first. Video will account for 82% of all internet traffic by 2022. What does that mean, right? So if you think about that as a business, as a person that wants a job, as anybody trying to earn a living, think about how we were in the past 6 months where we really couldn't go out. And now, who knows, first wave, second wave, third wave, how long this is going to last. Look at those stats. Those stats were all out before COVID. So now I think it just skyrocketed those numbers. And now I think, how can people like me who have businesses or consult or just looking for a job, period, I think the number one way this is the only way to stand out. It's not like you're going to be able to go to interviews or pass a resume around as much, because right now I hear hiring freezes all over the place, right? So what it makes me think about is, yet the few people that are doing what I do, everyone I speak to that does it says the opportunities are like too much, right? Versus people that are not doing it and are worried about, are their businesses going to survive? Are they going to be able to pay their bills? It's a major, major difference of how I'm seeing the landscape, and it makes sense, right? At the end of the day, it makes sense, because what is the case here? By creating content, especially in video format, which is the number one way. If you think about what you're doing every day, you're going home and you are watching video, probably on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And if you look at the watch times on your app, like now that they have that feature where it tells you how many hours a day you spend on these apps, you realize and you're spending like 4 or 5 hours a day. And I'm probably on the light side, and that's because I work on these platforms. But I know most people are spending hours a day in front of these apps. So if you are trying to sell anything to anybody, what's a better way than putting yourself on video in front of all these people that are watching all these hours every day? And that's without even putting advertising money behind it. Once you start putting advertising money behind it, it becomes even more of a no-brainer. But I won't even go there yet. Eventually, I will go there in other episodes. Where for this episode, I just want you to understand the true opportunity. So if you just got in, I've been looking at articles, and they're basically saying by 2022, over 80% of internet usage would be video, right? So if you look at the TikToks of the world, which Microsoft just bought TikTok. Microsoft also owns LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the number one way to find a job right now. TikTok, social media, video. LinkedIn, number one job platform. they're going to connect those dots. And if you're not putting yourselves out there, telling people what you do, you're at a disadvantage for the people that do, that are willing to put themselves out there. So the reason why I'm talking about it today is because 2022, we're in 2020 still. It took me a year to get as comfortable as I am on camera right now, and I'm not that comfortable. I could be much more comfortable, but it took a good year. 6 of those months was me being in front of camera and not showing anything that I shot because I hated all of it. And I'm like, I'm not putting that out. I don't care. And then I got to this point, and I tell everybody who's in this, wants to be in this content creation game, you get to this point where you don't care anymore. Because in the beginning, I'll tell you, like the first probably 6 months, everything you see is like, damn, I hate my face. I hate my voice. I hate what I said there. I should have said that better. I should have done this. I should have done that. Around the 6-month mark for me, I started to say, you know what? I'm going to just put it out. And what started to happen was people would get back to me and be like, man, what you said there, that really hit me because X, Y, Z. And I was like, man, I wasn't even going to put that out. I was not even going to put that out. So rags to riches. Yeah, you got to get out there. Especially you. I know how you rock. You definitely got to do it. So the idea of being a salesperson, there's no better way to be a salesperson than to put your video out there and have people come to you. You don't know how much easier it is to sell when you're not selling. Right now I'm not telling you about none of the products I do, but somehow I'm getting website opportunities. I'm getting video opportunities. I'm getting partnership opportunities. Why do you think that is? Because my face is on the timeline every day. So whether they watch or not, they're remembering, oh yeah, Miguel does that. Let me call Miguel without even watching the content, right? So, but I've been building a brand for many years. So, okay, stay balanced. 6 months to get comfortable on camera. That's the truth. I got to buy new equipment. So here's something that happened with me. So Stay Balanced on YouTube is saying he has to buy new equipment. I said the same thing for 8 years, something like that, 9 years. And when I finally really took that excuse back and said, what do I have? In my house, I had an iPhone. If you have an iPhone, that camera is better than most cameras that exist in the world. I had an iPhone, and even worse, when my kids were being born, I said, I got to get good at photography. So I bought like $1,000 camera and $1,000 lens 10 years ago. They're 11. They were 11 this weekend. Happy birthday to my twin. Love you guys, my twin boys. They're 11. I bought it before they were born, right before they were born. Had that equipment in my house all those years. And I look at it and it does video. And I got $1,000 lens that I didn't touch for 10 years almost. Just lying to myself that I don't have the equipment. Now, of course, you may not be in that position where you have $2,000 worth of equipment just sitting there not doing anything. But these phones are no joke. So if you have a phone, thank you, Stay Balanced. If you have a phone, you have more than enough equipment. And another thing, like I said, it takes a while to get comfortable. So if you're getting comfortable on the phone, you have time to build up your equipment. Like I bought this setup, and of course you want to see my setup, the link is in the description. And I bought this setup way after I was comfortable. Then I said, all right, now I want to step my game up on how things look. I want to like spend time understanding on how to make my stuff look better. I want the background to be blurry. I want the autofocus when I move to be there. So I'm going to buy equipment that will allow that. I want my setup to be compact and be able to come with me wherever I go in the world so I can still create content. So I built that out, and that equipment that I researched, all of that was made in that mindset. I need to be able to produce whenever I need to, as often as possible. So all the equipment you see there allows me to do that. It eliminates excuses. So, and that equipment probably cost me less than that equipment I bought before my sons were born. So that's another thing. Technology gets cheaper, smaller over time. And in 10 years, it got better and cheaper. So I got a better setup now than I had for cheaper than I paid initially, right? And right now it's about investing in yourself, right? At the end of the day, you don't have to put out great looking stuff day one. You just got to get comfortable talking ish in front of the camera. Like, it's the truth. I remember the first day I had done a Super Bowl commercial for my company, right? And I had worked on the Seinfeld Super Bowl commercial. And one of my friends in my office, she did PR. So she said, you should get press based on this. And I said, yeah, I don't know how to do that though. She made a few calls and the press started showing up. And I remember being like, oh my God, what the hell am I going to say? And it was super nerve-wracking. I don't even know how that video footage came out. I was on an article in the New York Post. I had videos and they were terrible, 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 terrible. But what it made me realize is you have to be prepared for those moments, right? And that's when I really started to get my mind starting to spin about, okay, I need to start getting better on video, because if I want to make, because another thing that happened when that all happened is I started getting a lot more attention and projects based on getting press. So I was like, all right, got to do much more of that, but I suck at it. So how can I get better at it? It's like anything, any sport. Anybody who's played any sport, you practice every day, right? And you practice for the game, right? The game is like just being in the groove, but you practice way more than you play a game, right? So that's why I did this show. To be honest, like I said, all right, I got to put myself out there, one, and I need practice doing it. So I'm going to do it every day. And you don't know how many people hit me up like, I don't think you need to do it every day. And I'm like, no, I need to do it every day, because when you're doing it once a week, you're getting better 4 times a month. I'm doing it 20 times a month. So I'm getting 20 times. You're getting 4 times better. I'm getting 20 times better. That's the amount I want to get better. I don't want to get better 4 times. I want to get better 20 times, because I want to get there faster. And what also happens when you produce at that volume is the algorithms start to like you, because what's happening with all these platforms? They want to see people that are creating often. Why is that? If you're creating often, you keep people on their platform. So you're going to tell me if I'm producing once a week and you're producing 5 times a week, who is in their better interest to show more of? Me, because I'm creating more content. I'm producing more for their platform. And then algorithms like YouTube specifically, because I study that one because it makes money. They don't even look at you till you have at least 40 videos. So think about that. If I was doing once a week, there's 52 weeks in a year. That's almost a full year of creating content before they even know I exist, versus 2 months the way I'm doing it, right? 20 times, 5 days a week. That's 20 in 1 month. 2 months, the algorithm knows who I am, and they definitely know who I am. And now my views are picking up, because now things are picking up from things that I did 6 months ago, right? Because I've been on it for a while. And of course, there's many other tricks. I'm not going to tell you it's easy. Everybody hits me up like, are you making money from all these videos? No, I'm not. I'm making money from all these videos though, right? So when you think about it, I'm not making money on the actual viewership. I'm making money from the people watching. So you behind there watching, you hit me up and I make money that way. So that's why you have to position your content. So it's not about making money off the content. You got to give value to the audience. So whoever's watching, I'm trying to give you information that makes you able to do something that you couldn't do before you watched it, or you didn't really fully understand. I'm sorry, I got a phone call at the office. But the idea is, if you're creating content often that gives value to the person you want to either hire you as a job, hire your company, buy whatever service you're selling, buy whatever product you're selling, it's like a commercial, right? but in a different way where you don't have to pay. If they're coming to you because they like you, they like what you're talking about, and then it's like, hey, also I sell this thing. That's the type of content I'm telling you that you should be thinking about right now, because the idea that you're going to create videos and then get 1 million views and YouTube is going to give you $1 million, that's going to take a long time, especially now. Podcasting, a little different. So I'm going to show you an article that I read today about podcasting. Here it is. US podcast ad revenue will jump 45% next year. That's almost doubling in 1 year. Oh, man. Sorry, I had a phone call. I don't know if you're still there, but double in 1 year podcast revenue. That is ridiculous. And of course, that's not going to stay. But right now, what does that mean? To anyone who's creating podcasts, you are in this early phase where there's the opportunity to grow really fast. Unlike YouTube, we're at a much different position in time for YouTube. YouTube has already been around for over 10 years or whatever, over 10 years. So now it's much harder to get bigger faster. But where YouTube is such an important place to be creating content is because YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. What does that mean? If I'm looking for anything, I put into Google. Oh, also, Google bought it. So just like Microsoft bought TikTok, Google bought YouTube. YouTube did it first. Google bought it first. But if I'm looking for anything, what do? You put it in Google. I need to make a website, whatever it is. What happens on Google? It shows you Google results and it shows you YouTube results. So imagine you or your business or your product coming up when people search and look for something that you sell. That is like ridiculous. Like you talk about business that you could maybe not even handle amount of traffic that's going to come to you. So if you're not in the game, then you're not even in the game, right? Like if you talking about being in business, but you're not in front of as many eyes as you can possibly be, that's a bad place to be as a business, right? Because now you're hoping you come across somebody where nobody's going outside like that anymore. There's no offices. There's no interviews. It's tough to get anything right now because of where we are. But if you're creating this content, and I understand in the beginning, I thought it too. People think you look like a psycho. What are you doing? Why would you think that's okay to do? And I used to think it too. When I would see people, I'm like, what is he doing? Why is he doing this? Why is she doing this? It's crazy. They're crazy. But it works. And after a while, you get to this point where you don't care what people think. And in the beginning, I remember getting like not hate, but jokes, right? I would see people around when we still could go outside and they'd be like, what do you think you are, Gary V? And I'd be like, I'm the Puerto Rican Bronx Gary V. Yup, right? And now those people are hitting me up like, you are the Puerto Rican Gary V. I'm not going to lie. You're doing it. So over time, that hate, well, you see it as hate, but it's just, I come from a place where people make fun, but it becomes props and, admiration over time. But you got to keep doing it. And how many episodes have I done? Right? I'm over 100 episodes. So it took a long time. Imagine if I would have been doing once a week, though. That would have been 2 years of content creation versus hasn't even been a year. And I've created probably 2 years worth versus everybody else if people would be doing once a week. So that's a major, major difference in results, in opportunity, right? I'm trying to maximize this time. I know everybody's home. I know everybody's scared to go out. I know everybody's wondering what the next move is. I'm creating as much content as possible while you're thinking about that because I want you to hit me up, right? I want you and me to possibly make money. But it's on me, right? If 1,000 people hit me up today, I get to choose. Yeah, I don't like that one. I like this one. But if you only got one person reaching out, if they reach out at all, you have to take that opportunity, right? So that's where like all of this keeps coming back to, I don't see an option for you. If you're going to be in business, any business, if you're going to want a job in the next year, you know what's the unemployment rate right now? I think there's like 20 million people unemployed right now. Everybody going for the same jobs. What helps you stand out? Your resume or them seeing you, seeing how you are, seeing your knowledge, seeing how you speak, how you interact with people. That to me, you'll get a job much faster than having a resume that says, you had a good job last year. So to me, I just don't think it's an option. So part of what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to push people to do it, because I get a lot of people that are like dipping their toe, like, yeah, I'm going to try it. And then 6 months later, they haven't done it. And I'm like, what's going on? Oh, but I have this and that excuse one, excuse two, excuse three. And I always be like, look, I had the same excuses. All right, good. I'm glad I'm pushing somebody. I had those same excuses. I eliminated them all by one. Okay, what's the first? So I'll tell you my excuses. My first excuse was I don't have time. I'm running multiple things. My time, I got kids. I don't have time for that. COVID hit. That excuse was gone. So then I started doing it. Then I realized we are in lockdown. I can't get a haircut. And I look like a caveman. I can't be getting on every day if I don't have a haircut. So I had to learn how to give myself a haircut. And I did. And I had a bunch of moments where I messed up my hair, but you didn't see because I messed it up in the back because I was learning how to give myself a haircut in the back. But I learned how to give myself a haircut to eliminate that obstacle, right? Then it was, I need content. I need to know what to talk about. I don't even know what to talk about. Interviews. I say, you know what? I'm going to just ask people to interview them. Then I don't even got to think about the content. It's just whatever we have a conversation about. And of course, there's an angle. In the beginning, I'm like, why would I bring them on? But once they're on, and we're just talking. So then I got comfortable with being on for an hour. Then I said, all right, what happens when I can't get a guest? Now I got to get comfortable being on for an hour without anybody. But that's fine. Why is that? Because I want to do public speaking. Public speakers make a lot of money. And I've done public speaking. And I want to do more of it. So that's practice on both sides. I win on both sides. If I could keep you listening for an hour, watching for an hour, then I could keep an audience whenever that's possible again, and they'll pay me for that, right? So I eliminate every obstacle. Okay, my internet sometimes was shaky. Get a wire right in. Upgrade my internet. Fios, highest level you can get. No more option there. All right, what else? Well, clothes. All right, so I was wearing different things and I was like, man, but then I gotta go do laundry. It's kind of crazy right now with the pandemic. So I said, all right, I'm just gonna buy a bunch of black t-shirts. Then I could just be wearing, it's just like a wardrobe where I only wear these black t-shirts when I'm gonna be on video. So then I don't have to wear it. I could do laundry I could take longer time to do laundry. Every obstacle, there's gonna be an obstacle, and you gotta be like, nope. How can I knock that one down? So all of them, I'm now to the point where, and then after the pandemic was kind of a little over where we could go back outside, I said, all right, now I got to travel with all this stuff. How can I do that and still produce? And where am I going to do it? Obstacle, chop. And now I'm back to doing it consistently. And now I'm going to start reaching out to get more guests again, because I didn't want to get guests until I knew I had a solid place I could do it often at the same time. Because if you book a guest and then you don't make it because something came up, that guest is going to be pissed. So I said, let me just hang tight, do it on my own, which I want that practice anyway. And then I'll get to the point. What if you don't sell anything? All right. then is there a purpose to the constant videos? Good question. Do you want to make it your career? Like at the end of the day, you don't have to want to make this content thing your career. You could be making it just to sell a product. If you're not selling anything, are you selling yourself though? Right? At the end of the day, you're gonna want a job, right? You got to pay bills somehow. So if you think about that, I mean, and if I'm thinking about it wrong, if you don't sell anything right now, you need to be thinking about what you're selling. And to be honest, when I first started this content thing, I remember right before the pandemic hit bad, I went to a funeral and people got COVID in that funeral. Thank God I didn't. But I saw a guy and he was like, I like what you're putting out, but I want to buy what you're selling, but I don't know what you're selling. And I remember thinking, I'm not selling anything. That I'm just trying to give value and start to understand what people want. And then I'll sell what they want. So right now, I've gotten 6 months of an understanding of what people want. But while I was doing that, if you listen to my content, I'm not really selling anything. But now there's many opportunities where people are like, I don't know if you noticed, but you could probably get a check off doing this, this, and that. So people are coming to me and telling me, I had a woman this weekend that I know for many years that she was like, I just paid thousands of dollars for a course and you're teaching probably better than that course. Certain parts of what you're saying, this course is not even talking about. And I just paid thousands of dollars for that. You should be charging for something. So I'm like, you're right. I need to figure out what it is. But only in creating this can you start to figure that out. You can't just, it's not just going to hit you like a epiphany out of nowhere. You got to be, it's kind of like volume creates that stroke of genius. If you look at anything in any walk of life, the most prolific people are the ones that are the greatest. It's not that, it's like Kanye said, 5 beats a day for 3 summers. Think about that, right? And then of course he gets 10 songs that are amazing because that's like 100, that's like 1,500 songs a year for 3 years. Then you get your skills up so high that you produce higher quality. Yes, courses is a big business. My friend makes 6 figures. I know a person, well, I don't know them, I know of them, making $1 million a month selling a course on watercolor. How to watercolor, $1 million a month. That's, if you think about it, like there's people willing to pay to learn how to watercolor, enough of them where this person makes $1 million a month. I saw this other girl that teaches you how to be a business coach or a coach, because there's all kind of coaches, through Instagram. She put up her course. And in 10 days, she made $1 million. Of course, they all didn't start there. They started where I am right now. What should I sell to who? And I've been playing around with selling startup advice, selling content creation advice. Right now, I'm leaning towards the content creation. The startup thing is a lot more involved. So I don't know how, and I just feel like there's less people that will want that. The content creation thing, though, I can't see another option for a business person or someone looking for a job. I can't see a better way of standing out. I can't. And the fact that all these platforms are free, YouTube is what it is right now. It's the number 2 search engine. TikTok, all this stuff. You have to start like using this power. And if you don't, somebody else is, and they're going to take the business you could have had, right? Content creation it is. All right, content creation. So I got to vote for content creation. You tell me, startup advice, content creation. Because I know, for instance, Rags to Riches, she's creating a startup and she's still saying content advice is where it's at, content creation advice. But to me, if I had to start over and say, okay, what if I wasn't selling anything? I can't even think of a point in my life when I wasn't selling anything. All right, I have to be like in high school, I guess. I would be creating content around what I enjoy then, right? So if you think about, look at people like Jesus and Mero, right? Bronx guys. They created a show every day on Vice. That show was on every day for a while, a few years. Then what happens? And what was it? They were just talking crap, laughing, making jokes. Then they get a Showtime deal that I don't know the full details, but I'm sure it was better than the Vice deal. And now they're good. They're doing all kind of other stuff because they're of all that content. They created years of content in back to back to back to back to back. And then everybody knew who they were. And then the opportunities came. And that just came from talking about funny stuff from the hood because they're both Bronx guys. They had comedic tone and content that matched somebody's brand, and they were willing. And I remember they had Timberland ads and all that because they were bringing in a certain audience. So what happens is when you create content, you bring in a certain audience. So it's either an audience that you want to sell to or a brand wants to sell to. So by creating content over time, if you talk about the right things, you bring in people that somebody wants to pay to target. It could be you or it could be somebody else. Of course, it's better when it's you because if you're selling content to your audience, that's the best place to be because you don't have to ask nobody for nothing because your audience is paying your bills and they like what you do. And you could just keep doing it. That's the ideal scenario, right? You could do that till you die. Literally from the day you start till you die, you can do that. Well, as opposed to brands, sometimes you could say something that brands don't like and then they pull their sponsorships. YouTube could change their algorithm, all kind of stuff. Branding with advertising, brands with ads is a little tougher. Of course, I'm going to try to do all of them, but I tell you the safer bet is to look towards a path where you're creating value to an audience that you grow a community and you have access to, that you get their email addresses, you put them in some type of forum or chat room or like a Discord, a Facebook group where you have access to them because you can have 1 million, 20 million subscribers on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. That don't mean that you have access to them. You could put up a video right now. You can have 20 million subscribers on YouTube. You put up a video, not everybody sees it. Not all 20 million see it. Instagram too. If you're on Instagram and you have 20 million followers and you put up a video, only 10% of those people see it at first. Then Instagram says, how good is it doing? Then I'll show it to more. Same with YouTube. YouTube is not putting it out to all 20 million of subscribers. They are seeing how it performs first. Then they show it more. Why? Because they don't want to be showing videos that are not good to the audience. So let's say I created a video and every time people watch 50% of my video, right? Which doesn't happen right now because it's super long videos. But let's say the shorter ones, that's what happens. Then you put up a video and they see only 10% is being watched. Then YouTube, the algorithm says that video must not be good because people are not watching it as much. So we're not going to show it to all those subscribers because if they watch it and they leave YouTube, that takes them off our platform, which we don't want that. So we're only going to show them videos that have the quality level that makes sense for us to keep people on the platform. So that's where you have to build up creating content that creates value and gets people to watch as much as possible. So there's that. And then there's what I'm doing. I'm creating these hour-long shows because what I'm doing is I'm using this on YouTube. It's going on Facebook. It's going on Instagram. It's going on Twitter. It's going on Twitch. And it's going on podcasts. So to me, I can take these long hour and just like Joe Rogan and all of them, I could chop them up to 3 20-minute clips or 5 10-minute clips. But I still have the hour worth of content. I can do whatever I want with it versus not having it, or only having a 2-minute video or a 5-minute video. Then that doesn't work in podcast form. That doesn't work in all formats. But by having the longer form content, I can take from that. I can create a little clip, a little highlight clip of when one of my guests says something cool or somebody tells me, yo, I like what you said there. So if you ever see in my content something that you like what I said, please tell me so I can make a highlight of that, because that means if it connected with you, that means it'll connect with other people. So that's one thing I ask you for. Another thing I ask you for is to like and subscribe. everywhere, anywhere that you watch. And share with anybody you think needs to see this, because at the end of the day, this whole thing is starting. Even YouTube, we're just starting. If you think about where we are in the history of online video, TV has been around for how long, right? And this has just begun 10 years in. Podcasting is less than like 10 years too. No, actually, so wait, online video is probably like 15, podcasting is probably around 10. And Joe Rogan's been doing his podcast for 10 years. And he gets this $250 million deal now, 10 years in, not day one, 10 years. So that's another thing I tell myself. I don't care if this content doesn't make me money for 10 years. I'm going to do it. And I'm probably going to do it forever because I already see the value of it. Even if it never makes me advertising revenue, which it will eventually, there's almost no way if you pump out as much content and you're giving value to an audience. There's too many people on the planet. There's 7 billion people. You're going to tell me you can't find 1 million that connect with you if you do it often? Definitely can. So my thing is, my value that I'm trying to put out is I'm trying to help people create their ideas. I'm trying to help people understand the technology opportunity, this creative and technology opportunity that we're lucky to be living in, the early part of it. And if you don't take advantage of it, you're crazy. So part of it is, I know a lot of people are like, yeah, but you know all this stuff. That's why you say that. But we don't know what you know. So I'm telling you what I know. Tell me what you need to know, and I'll tell you what I know for free here, right? So, all right, let's see. Haircut and obstacle story was funny. I laugh every time you say it. Yeah, I mean, it's super true. I was getting to the point where I was like, I need to get a haircut, so I'm not going to shoot. But there was no way to get a haircut because the barber shops were closed. And I didn't want to go get COVID for a haircut. So I said, all right, I got to buy and watch some YouTube videos. You can learn anything now, right? What did I do? I watched YouTube videos on how to give myself a haircut. That guy got some views, right? So now whatever it is you do, I'm sure somebody's searching, hey, how can I do this? YouTube, you come up, they watch you, they buy from you, they like you, or whatever it is. They order your product, they sign up for whatever it is you do, versus you not existing to them, right? It's at least an option. It's kind of like a lotto ticket in YouTube. You may hit, you probably won't, but if you hit, like I've had about 2-3 videos that hit over 100, right? And when I say hit, it's not like I got 1 million views either. I'm saying like they got to like 1,000 views, stuff like that, right? But off those 1,000 views, somebody that was watching hit me up and was like, hey, I really like what you're doing. Can we do XYZ together? And it's been happening over and over and over. And then, yeah, is Facebook and IG worth an advertising investment? Yes. All right. So define value. Good stuff. Value means, in my estimation, value means what I'm talking about is helping you. So if I say this episode, I'm talking about why the content game is so important right now. If you're watching and you're still watching at this point, it's because I'm saying something that is helping you. You don't care about just watching my crazy face talk, right? It's more about I'm saying things that can help you, and you're listening and saying, yes, that's right, I can do that. That's value. That means I'm telling you something that is helping you. In your side, with whatever you're creating, what can you tell people that helps them? And I'll tell you another big thing that it took me a long time to see, and I think a lot of people still think it, is you can literally tell people how to do the entire process of whatever you do. So in my case, people have been reaching out to me and saying, why are you telling people how to make a podcast all the way? Why don't you create a course and charge people for it? People will watch the whole thing and still pay the course or pay you to do it. And I learned that myself because I'm a coder. I can code things. So I would look stuff up sometimes, right? And I'm like, you know what? I can make this myself. Start doing it, get busy. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to pay the guy who did that because he did it in 10 minutes. I'll give him a few bucks. He'll get it done for me. That guy made money off that content, right? He may not have gotten 1,000 views, but he just made money off me because I was going to do it off his views, off his view. But then I realized I don't have time to do it. I'm just going to pay him. So I reach out to him on his YouTube. He does it. We're both happy. It gets done. He made money because he was up on YouTube, and I got it done faster than I would have if I waited till I had time to do it, right? So one of the major hurdles you got to get over is being worried about putting too much information out there and giving away your secret sauce, because that's not how it works. People don't want to do it themselves most of the time. They rather pay you. And most of the time, what you're selling is the convenience of not doing it yourself, right? So if they watch it and you give them the way of doing it, sure, they can do that, but a very little bit percent of people are going to do it. Very little. They're going to be like, you know what? I'd rather just give up the $100 course, or rather just pay this person to do it, right? Because that's another thing too. Another thing I've been learning in this journey is I could put up all this content. I can literally, and I have. So this happened this weekend, actually. It was a funny story. All right. I put up at least 3 videos showing you how to, from start to finish, create an online e-commerce store that sells anything. It's on my YouTube channel. It's on my Facebook. I don't know if it's on Instagram. It's definitely on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Definitely. Somebody reaches out to me because they saw it and they're like, I want you to make my store. And I said, but you saw the video. I pretty much showed you how to do it. If I do it, I got to charge you. You could do it. I don't have time for that. I'd rather just pay you because I know you know how to do it and it gets done. And I do what I want to do, what I need to do for my business. That happened because that video, literally, I walked people through step by step on how to make an online store in 3 videos. One video I show you in 15 minutes. But of course, there's a lot more to it. It's 15 minutes for me because I've been doing this for 20 years. But there's a lot more that you can do. And they understand that I know that. So they'd rather not fumble around for a month when they could give it to me and it gets done, right? Same thing with whatever it is you're selling. So the idea of what do I create content around? Create content around what it is you do. If you don't have anything you do, create content around things you're interested in that you believe will draw an audience. Because if I'm just here telling random jokes, are you going to watch? I mean, I'm pretty funny, it's true, but you're not going to watch me just to watch me. You're going to watch me because of the value I provide, right? So if entertainment is value too, if I am entertaining and you find me entertaining, you're going to come to watch, right? That's one form. I'm more on the education side than the entertainment side. Maybe I'll do a middle where I'm entertainment and education, but definitely I want to be more on the education side than the entertainment side. But a lot of people want to be on the entertainment side. So that's like the Jesus and Mero. They're on the entertainment side. They want to make you laugh. And there's nothing wrong with that. And they are selling themselves as brands that can make you laugh. So what happens? They get brand deals, they get advertising deals, they get show opportunities because of their value making you laugh, right? But with business, I honestly believe we're heading into this world where education is going to change. If you look at what schools do right now, you're paying an exorbitant amount of money to not really learn the thing you're paying for, right? So at the end of the day, I tell people this a lot. If you go to school for media, to be in media, or you pay one of these top media guys courses, which do you think will get you there faster? That degree or the information that person who's doing it right now, doing it every day, has 10 years experience doing it and is getting millions of views every day? Who do you think you're going to get more benefit from? So what that means is eventually you're going to be able to say, all right, I want to be this. I'd rather just pay this person to teach me and I'll be in their course for 2, 3, 4 years and still pay less money than going to college to learn the same thing. That's where it's heading. So to me, I like look super fast forward. I'm future forward, and that's a problem. I do that too much, but I can see a day where everybody, the way they make money is by teaching people something. So it's not about, hey, you have a job. What's your job? It's, hey, what do you teach people? And okay, where can I go to learn what you teach people? And then you have your own revenue streams. You know what? Here's like the dip your toe in to learn about how I can help you. Here's the, once you understand, you could dive in a little more. And then this is the all-in package. And all you need is a few people to be doing that with you, and you can pay your bills. Right? So if you think about, I tell people, I'm on this YouTube one. I pay this YouTube guy, I pay him $100 a month. I'm in his YouTube group. He has all kind of courses. This guy, if I would have had to learn all the stuff I have been learning from paying him $100 a month, it would have took me 5, 6 years. In 6, 8 months, I've learned 5, 6 years worth of stuff for $800, $600, $800. That is the value of, versus, let's say I would have said, oh, I want to be a YouTube star. I'm going to go to college. What could they possibly have taught me in college for $800 that guy couldn't teach me better? And I'm just one of thousands of people paying him $100 a month. This guy's making millions of dollars teaching people how to make YouTube videos and make money off YouTube and stuff like that, right? So anything you do, there's an audience to sell it. I mean, that will buy it. Yes, I want to teach people how to repair their credit without paying so much money. That's a huge, if you Google that on YouTube, how to repair credit, because I've done it, you find a lot of stuff. You find a lot of people doing what you're saying. And this is the big thing. Another huge thing to understand. Just because other people do it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. That actually means you should do it, because they may just like the way you talk about it and the way you explain it. So like you said, it's confusing. I don't know if you mean it's confusing on how they do it on YouTube, but that means you can create a simpler way for your audience, right? So the idea of, I don't know what to do, to me, I think it's up to you to really figure out, what do you want to be doing with the rest of your life? If I told you the day you die, what are you going to be working on? If you had a choice, what would that be? For me, I want to be working with startups, helping people create huge ideas. I want to help through all the knowledge I'm gaining, through investment. I want to help as many young people as possible understand and be in this technology environment, because I do believe it's the future. It's not even the future, it's right now. It's just most people still think it's the future, but it's right now. So everything I do is around that. But I also want to make the most amount of money off the least amount of my time. So everything I work on is around going towards that path. I want to basically figure out how to make the most amount of money off the least amount of my time. And I want to help kids, and I want to help startup founders, right? So everything I do is like, does it check those boxes? No, then I'm not doing it, right? Because I'm trying to build towards that path, right? So for you, what is that path for you? What is the thing that you want to be doing till the day you die? Because I tell people, I'm not retiring. I love what I do, so I'm not retiring. I got actually, somebody just called me right now, one of my mentors. He's 82. We work on stuff every day. And he shows me that if you enjoy what you're doing, he's sharper than some 40-year-olds I know, because he loves what he's doing. So I see that, and I want to be that. I don't want to be 82 just living out my days waiting to die. Nah, I'd rather be, let's figure this out. Let's invest in this. Let's set this up. On the day I die, I want to be doing that. And hopefully I make a video that day too, because I think I'm leaving a legacy for my kids. This content, imagine I die, and then this is what happens actually. And of course, it's random and it's luck. But most artists and most people that are huge, they weren't popular when they were alive. Tesla was not popular when he was alive. But if Tesla had a platform where he was talking into video right now, where he could show all of his experiments and everything he's done, you know how many views and money would go to his family right now? It would be insane. Tesla died broke. One of the smartest people in history. That would not happen now if you spoke into camera talking about whatever it is you do. And I hope some of what I talk about now, eventually one day people are like, you know what, Miguel did say that. Let's go watch that video and give his kids and grandkids and great grandkids $10. Stuff like that, right? So without me putting myself out there, none of that's possible, right? Versus it's a possibility. It's a more than 0% chance that it can happen versus zero, right? So to me, it's worth it. It's worth it. So love him and exploit it. Yeah, of course. Tesla was exploited. He was exploited. Why is that? Because he didn't have control of how he made money. He had to get investors that were taking advantage of him. Back then, it was way worse. Actually, the way that one worked was the Chase family took advantage of Tesla, right? They had the money and they were able to say, hey, I'm taking this off you because you can't, whatever it was, whatever the story, the full story. But imagine being able to fund your own stuff off your own content. That's my goal. My goal is to say, all right, when I'm starting to make X amount a year off this content, now I can invest in things that I want to see happen, whether that's startups or programs or anything I want. But I have the option instead of having to ask for investors the whole time. There's people right now making $20,000-$30,000 a month on YouTube. That's serious money off their probably side hustle in a way. These people, I mean, of course, there's people that have things going on that outside of this, they make money from too, but they have such large audiences and they talk about the right things. So one thing to understand, if you talk about financial education on YouTube, you make the most money on ads. So that's why I do the multiple revenue stream thing, partly because I want to have multiple revenue streams, but I also know people that watch that kind of stuff, that YouTube algorithm pays the most money to advertisers, pays the most money to the content creators from advertisers. So all of this is thinking through that process, right? But of course, I understand. I know that, but part of why I know that is because I'm taking these courses. This guy taught me that. So again, that $800 in 8 months probably is going to make me thousands and thousands of dollars in a few years. So I'm investing in myself right now. And this is the time I'm telling you right now. When I said in 2022, they said 82% of all internet traffic will be video. You have to be in the game when that happens. If you're not in the game, what that means is they're taking away a lot of stuff from the TV and they put it online. And you already see that. I don't know how many people, I know I don't have cable in my house. I'm straight up all internet TV. So Netflix, YouTube, my kids all understand how to navigate. That's where the world is heading. It's not heading to TV commercials and having a TV show. These are the new TV shows. That's what I say. I'm on my globally televised entrepreneur hour and podcast it because it's true. People anywhere in the whole world can watch me right now live. How possible was that? Not even 5 years ago was that possible. Of course, you could put yourself up, put a video, and it can be seen everywhere in the world, but not live. You had to have a serious studio, like a movie studio, to do that before. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of investment. Now, all this you can see my setup in the link. Not even $10,000, not even $5,000. I don't think. Maybe about $5,000. I don't know. I don't think it was $5,000. But you could be in this game with just a phone. You don't even need to go as crazy as I'm going. But as you get more and more into it and you realize the opportunity, you will invest more and you'll want to learn more. You'll want to understand how to make things look better, sound better for the podcast, for the video, right? So to me, part of where I just want people to, their mindset to go is get comfortable being uncomfortable about being in front of a camera, because I don't see an option. Even when we're at work now, what are we? We're in front of Zoom and Google Meets on camera. So when you're on camera, so this is a major connection right here. When you're on camera on a Zoom talking to your client or your boss, why are you less concerned about that than talking to the public? What in your mind thinks that that's different? It's no different. It's no difference. You're just worried about people talking crap. Like I tell you, it's going to happen. But that turns into positivity eventually if they're nice. If they're a-holes, they're going to be a-holes your whole life. So just understand that's going to happen too. But if you're on Zoom, on meetings, same thing. It's the same thing. The only difference is getting comfortable like I'm comfortable talking for an hour. And don't think sometimes I'm thinking like, I feel like a psycho here talking to myself for an hour. But that's why it's awesome to get people talking. And that's why I like about live. Because then I get the feedback. I get the understanding of what to talk about. So that's why people are like, why go live? Going live gives you the opportunity to interact instead of just talk, right? So to me, that's why I go live everywhere, because I want that interaction. I want the questions. I want them live, not later into my DMs and my text messages. I want them live. So that's why live is, and also live, all these platforms push live more. So to get your views up by being live. So, on that note, it's been an hour, the Entrepreneur Hour, the globally televised Entrepreneur Hour. Thank you for listening, watching. Everybody who has been watching the whole time, I thank you. I super appreciate you. Thank you to the people that are listening to the podcast every day. I see the numbers growing. And if you're watching the podcast, listening to the podcast, please give me 5 stars so it helps more people see it. I truly appreciate anybody watching my content anywhere. So I put it everywhere. And thank you for everybody reaching out. Thank you for anybody who watched. Right up my lane. Yep. Thank you. So like I end my show every day, and somebody hit me up this weekend saying that final phrase sticks in their head. So I'm glad that it does. Innovate every day. Thank you. Bye.